place for public hearing on a proposed ordinance to add a new chapter, Chapter 30, to our county code entitled Removal Procedures for Members of Appointed Boards, Commissions, and Advisory Committees. I will give a brief explanation of what is proposed. After that, Council has an opportunity to ask questions. Subsequent to that, we'll have any member of the public that would like to opine on this matter will be given an opportunity, and then afterwards the Council may act on the matter. And at this point, I would like to point out that this is a proposed ordinance that actually has its roots back to the days that Mr. Wilson was on County Council. It had been discussed at that point. There is some thought that the Council already has the authority under Home Rule, just from the standpoint that it does reference in the code the fact that the Council has the right to replace members who have been removed, but then there's nothing discussing that process. So it is the thoughts that it'd be best to have an ordinance in order to do that. And it is a very simple ordinance. Gives the County Council the authority with a majority vote to remove any member that of those individual entities that are appointed by the Council to be removed. I will point out that I have given the Secretary this morning, there was in looking at this, we saw that there was a typo in a verbiage ordinance, that there was the section numbers had been, the key had been hit twice, and there was one spot, an addition of an and between commissions and advisory councils, and added the verbiage now therefore the County of Sussex that hereby ordains, but there's been no substantive changes to anything, but when we vote on this, it will have those changes and amendments.
Which are basically corrections.
Yes, that is correct. That is all. And at this point, is there anyone here? First, Council, do you have any questions?
Question of the Council. Okay, Mr. Moore.
Okay, is there anyone here today that would like to come forward and address this issue? Is there anyone here today that would like to discuss the proposed ordinance? Operator, seeing none, can you determine if there's anyone listening remotely that would like to opine on this matter?
At this time, there is currently no one on the line.
Okay, thank you. Mr. President, at this time we can close the public hearing on this matter, and if Council desires, close the public record.
Okay, we'll close the public hearing. Okay, with Council, close the public record. Ask Mr. Moore read the short title.
Okay, an ordinance to add a new chapter, Chapter 30, to the County Code titled Removal Procedures for Members of Appointed Boards, Commissions, and Advisory Committees, with the amendment that I mentioned concerning the corrections in this. And if there are any other amendments, they would be made at this time.
I'd like to make an amendment.
Oh, Mrs. Green.
First, I would like to amend the first sentence of Section 30-3A to require that any removal be for cause by adding the words for cause after the word terms.
Okay, we have a motion to amend, as she just read that. Do I have a second for the motion? A second for the motion.
If you did that, you'd have to list all the potential causes, wouldn't you? And
that's correct. I would think
we get quite in the weeds.
Do you agree with that, Mr. Moore?
It would be best to list the different causes, specific causes, if you had that, to define those. And at the time that we went through this, we did share this with the personnel attorney for the council, for the county, and at that point the recommendation was this verbiage.
Okay.
But it could certainly be, I mean, that is a motion.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Can I explain the?
We need a second for, sure, go ahead.
So if we had for cause, there would be a clear understanding to everybody involved. there would be an explanation of what's going on. You can't just say, okay, we have, we're going to remove so-and-so, and we're just saying we're just removing them. I think it would add clarity. Also, that there wouldn't be the idea that we would remove somebody because we don't like the way they're voting. It could appear that when you're not really saying, we have this issue, we have these things. Well, it could appear that we don't like the way a person's voting, and we want to have like-minded, or we have people on our boards that vote the way we want them to vote. There doesn't give that independence of their voting process.
Okay.
I think it could influence that.
Okay. And Mr. Moore, you did say that the county's personnel attorney has reviewed this.
Yes.
And what's here is what was recommended.
We vetted it through them, and this was the language that, because we had discussed that at the time, whether we should put 4 calls or not.
But then you'd have to have all the causes listed.
That would be the recommendation, plus then the procedures for any hearings and other issues.
Okay. Last call. Do I have a second for this motion? Hearing no second, motion dies. Any more motions?
I have a second motion.
Yes, ma'am. Please read it.
I also would like to move the first sentence of section 30-3A by changing it to state that removal will require an affirmation supermajority vote of 4 members by the county council.
Is there a second to that motion? Is there a second? Last call. Is there a second?
I mean, that would be a higher standard than even the county administrator functions under. So that seems like an excessively high standard.
Well, if you read down through the ordinance here today, so if a person is removed and they want to have a hearing, they have to have 4 votes to have a hearing. They can be removed by 3, but in order to have a hearing, then they have to have a vote of 4. So we are using 4 against the person being removed, but we can remove them with 3 votes.
Right.
Okay.
But they serve at the pleasure of council,
Correct.
and that's the concept.
Yeah.
And they're not employees, so they don't have that hurdle.
And it does only take 3 votes to appoint somebody, right? Yeah, I know it does. It
Right.
takes 3 votes to appoint.
To a point.
Yeah, okay.
But it takes 4 votes and for them to have a hearing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Any more? Do I have a second to this motion? Is there a second for this motion? Hearing none, there is a motion then. Mr. Moore, read short title again, please.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. An ordinance to add a new chapter 30 to the county code titled Removal Procedures for Members of Appointed Boards, Commissions, and Advisory Committees, together with the recommended typographical changes that were given to the county secretary.
Okay. Pleasure of council.
I'll move for adoption.
Motion, Mr. Riley. Second?
I'll second.
Mr. Hudson. Questions on the motion? We'll take a vote. Mrs. Green.
Without the amendments, I vote no.
Mr. Hudson.
Yes.
Mr. Riley.
I vote yes.
I vote yes. Motion carried. Now then,